Oh, that's too long.
Let me get some water.
Sure. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده ولا نبوة بعد نبوته ولا شريعة بعد شريعته ولا كتاب بعد كتابه أما بعد فقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى اعلموا أنما الحياة الدنيا لعب ولهو وزينة وتفاخر بينكم وتكاثر في الأموال والأولاد كمثل غيث أعجب الكفار نباته ثم يهيج فتراه مصفرا ثم يكون حطاما وفي الآخرة عذاب شديد ومغفرة من الله ورضوان وما الحياة الدنيا إلا متاع الغرور. Respected brothers and elders and mothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Respected brothers and sisters in Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made mankind into a very greedy being. And sometimes this greediness is for the good. For example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put this innate quality in us that we always want to prosper, we always want to succeed, we always want that which is best for us. And as our innate nature, we don't like to be second class, we don't like to be second in the race. We always want to make sure that how can I have the best of everything? How can I have the best in this world? My family have the best luxuries, the best comforts, the best job, the best education. This is the desire. Whether one can achieve it or not, that's a second issue. But the primary issue is that we have this desire. If we had the ability, we would want the best for our children, best for our families, best for our parents, best for ourselves. And how do we recognize what is best? How do we know what is the best? As human beings, we judge this by looking at people around us. When we find those that are successful, those that have achieved something in the world, we try to copy them. We try to imitate them and bring their lifestyles into our lives. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the verse that I recited before you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, اعلموا أنما الحياة الدنيا لعب ولهو وزينة وتفاخر بينكم وتكاثر في الأموال والأولاد. That know, understand, O mankind, this is a message from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is directing this message to every human being. اعلموا, know, understand this very well. أنما الحياة الدنيا, this worldly life that you are experiencing, it is لعب ولهو. The first stage of this life is la'ib, which is play, just messing around, playing, enjoying life with lahu. La'ib is those types of activities which a person has some type of physical benefit in it, as we call the sports. And lahu is that which there's no benefit in this world or the hereafter. There is no physical benefit, there is no worldly benefit, neither does anyone benefit in the hereafter. So the first stage of our lives, we see the youth. What do? Young kids, age of 4, 5, 6, 7. Their entire life is based on this, just enjoyment, just having fun. How can I play this game? How can I do this sport? And this lasts towards in their mid-teens. And we know this. Number 2, the second stage, wazina, beautification. We find men and they find other individuals, they're very built, they're strong, they're athletic, they also want to build a body like that. You find the woman, someone who's dressed nicely, who applies the makeup very beautifully, they also want to imitate that as well and make sure they also dress in a similar manner, make their appearance, that zina, that we see others doing the zina and we also want that zina as well. This, continuing, وَتَفَاخُرٌ بَيْنَكُمْ وَتَكَاثُرٌ فِي الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَوْلَادِ. Then a person graduates from college, gets a job, now there is a competition. That how I could have a nice bank balance, make some extra money, have a nice house, make sure that house is renovated nicely. So then we have this tafakhur, boasting, whether it's a direct boast or it's an indirect boast, whether it's consciously done or subconsciously done. But we have this in us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is our nature. This is the human nature, that we have this competitive nature in us. Fil amwal wal awlad. In wealth and also in children. My children are the best. They're the smartest. Oh, he's good in math. He's good in science. You should see the way she writes. She's beautiful in this. We have this boasting is what? It is a type of competition as well. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that all this worldly life is like a land that is fertile, that rain came on it, but eventually it became dry. It became so dry that it became useless. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, but in the hereafter there's two things. Either there is a severe punishment, or there is maghfirah, the forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the ridwan of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And at the end Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَا الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا مَتَاعُ الْغُرُورِ. This worldly life is nothing but goods of deception. مَتَاعُ الْغُرُورِ. Mata' al-ghurur, if you want to understand in today's time, is the concept of a mirage. The person who is in the desert, he's very thirsty, and from afar he sees water. But we all know there is no water over there. Even though he sees it with his own eyes, he sees icy water from afar. The more closer he gets, he realizes that there's nothing there. It was just a deception. Similarly, this life that we experience is just a deception. Respected brothers and elders, the reason why I'm saying this ayah, because I want to bring another message out from this ayah. That in this world we have a habit that we imitate. We emulate others. Others we find to be good, be worthy, and we bring their lifestyles into our lives. And we do this in these all four different stages of our lives. We look at those individuals that we find to be great. So when is the first stage? The first stage is what? Lahu laib, of just play and sports. If you look at the youth, from a certain age when they start understanding sports figures and the sports, you see their entire life sometimes revolves around these individuals. They want to dress like them. They want to talk like them. They want to play like them. They know all the statistics, all the information about every single player, about their favorite sport team. Oh, who's the point guard? Who's the center? And they know all the figures, where he graduated from, which high school he went to, which college he went to, which draft was he the first round draft or the second round draft. They know everything about these sports figures. Why? Because they admire these individuals. They have achieved something in the world that these youth, they admire, and they say, I want to bring this lifestyle into my life. And this lasts for a very long time. And these individuals tend to become role models. They become role models for our youth. Now, I'm not saying right or wrong right now. I'm just saying that is the fact. That is the fact. That when we're young, whatever lahu laib, whatever youth, whatever play they're involved in, they want to become like that. And this is due to admiration, this is due to the love they have for this individual. They might not admit it that I love this person, because today's time people don't like to admit the word love. But that is in fact a type of love. That is a love that these youth, these youngsters, they have for this sports figure. Because love is due to three reasons. Number one is due to kamal. When someone has perfected something, we admire that person. We admire them so much that we want to become like them. Everything they do, oh, look at the way he shoots, look at the way he talks, look at the way he does this, the way he throws a party. Everything we want to become. So first one is kamal. Number two is jamal. It's due to beauty. When we find something very beautiful, then we admire it. We have a attachment towards it. Whatever is beautiful in our sight, we have an attachment towards it, and then we want to become like that as well. And the third one is nawal. When someone bestows a favor upon us, we feel indebted to that person. And when we feel indebted to that person, we feel kind toward that person, and we have some type of love towards that person. So we have three concepts. One is kamal, perfection. Number two is jamal, beauty, perfect. And number three is nawal, when someone does a favor upon us. So these are the three reasons why we love someone. But when it comes to this lifestyle that we have for the youth, the first one Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّمَا الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا لَعِبًا وَاللَّهُ. It is because of just games and sports. Then after that, وَتَفَاخُرٌ بَيْنَكُمْ وَتَكَاثُرٌ فِي الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَوْلَادِ. Then the second stage is when a person becomes boastful, competitive in wealth and in children. In wealth and in children they become competitive. In this too, subconsciously, we look at those individuals in the world who have attained this, who have this status, who have this wealth, who have this type of prosperity, and then we try to become like them. How do they dress? What did they do to come to that position? What options did they take? What schools did they go to? How was their application done? And all that. Why? Because we want to become like that. They become our role models. Whether we say it or not, they have become our role models. Respected brothers and others, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has kept a different role model for us. As Muslims, as believers in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the final prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put someone else as a role model, as a shining star for us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran says, قُلْ, say, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, to the mankind, إن كان آباؤكم وأبناؤكم وإخوانكم وأزواجكم وعشيرتكم وأموال اقترفتموها وتجارة تخشون كسادها ومساكن ترضونها أحب إليكم من الله ورسوله وجهاد في سبيل الله فتربصوا حتى يأتي الله بأمره والله لا يهدي القوم الفاسقين. Very beautiful ayat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, say, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, to the people that if your aba, your forefathers, your parents, means your lineage, you're very proud of your family, your children, your brothers, your wives, your khandan, your family members, the wealth that you have accumulated, the business transaction that you fear that it might be in a loss, and the houses that you adore. If these things are more beloved to you than Allah and His Rasul and striving in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then wait. Wait for the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wait for the decision of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us what the decision is going to be. Wallahu la yahdi al-qawm al-fasiqeen. Allah does not guide those that are transgressors. Means all these things, if Allah, His Rasul, and striving in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are not the most beloved, but these other things become more beloved to us, then Allah does not guide the transgression. This is a sign of transgression. This is the key to transgression. When a person does not have Allah and His Rasul, and does not have striving in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the sake of deen, the most beloved thing, then the doors of transgression open up for him. And then once the door of transgression open up for him, Allah does not guide that individual. So the most beloved in our eyes is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The most beloved human being in our eyes is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself, he says that, O believers, he's speaking to the Sahaba. This message is not to the non-Muslims. This message was to the group of Sahaba. And he says, لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى أكون أحب إليه من والده وولده والناس أجمعين. That, O Sahaba, none of you can become a perfect believer. Who is this message towards? The believers. None of you can be a perfect believer until I do not become more beloved in sight than his parents, his children, and the entire mankind. Means this is a sign of perfection of Iman. This is the yardstick for your Iman to be accepted. That the Prophet ﷺ becomes the most beloved in our eyes. And we find the Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala anhum ajma'een, they bring this into their lives. The Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala anhum, there's so many stories about the Sahaba. And they gave their hearts to Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that not seeing the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam for a few moments, that would change their tabiyah. Their health would deteriorate and they'll become sick. Why? Because they were at a distance from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We all understand the concept of love. We understand it. We might not have experienced it, but we understand what love is. Growing up in America, we study the stories of Romeo and Juliet and Layla and Majnun and Shirin and Farhad, and we know what true love is and what intense love is. But if you want to see true love, intense love, study the lives of the Sahaba. That is true love. That is intense love. All that other is not real love. The real love is for the Prophet and for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So for Uban, the freed slave of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he had intense love of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So much love for the Prophet he had, that when the Prophet was not close to him and few days would pass without seeing the Prophet, his face would become pale and yellow and he would actually fall sick. So one time the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam visited Thawban after a few days, and Thawban was in this situation. And the Prophet ﷺ said, "Oh Thawban, what's wrong with you? Are you okay? Are you well?" Said, "O Prophet of Allah, I'm not sick. Only thing is that I cannot bear your separation. Whenever you're close to me, I get this state of ecstasy. I'm so happy, so joyous. But as soon as you go far from me, I cannot handle that state, and I become sick. And I think about the situation that you are the Prophet of Allah. You are Sayyidul Rusul. You are the king. You are the leaders of all the prophets. Your maqam in Akhirah is going to be so high. And I am just Thawban. I'm just a simple person. Where's my status going to be compared to your status? If I can't handle the separation in this world, how am I going to bear the separation in the hereafter? And the thought makes me more sick. The thought makes me more sick. The Prophet ﷺ smiles and he said, "Oh Thawban, shall I tell you something?" And he says, "Al-mar'u ma'a man ahabbah." Then on the day of Qiyamah, a person will be with whom he loves. You love me, you will be with me on the day of Qiyamah. The state of ecstasy comes again to Thawban. In fact, Anas radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he narrates another narration based on the same hadith. He said, أَنَّ رَجُلًا سَأَلَ النَّبِي صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وسلم عَنِ السَّاعَةِ. A person came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said, "Oh Prophet of Allah, tell me about Qiyamah." You know, our Muslim nation, we always like to hear about Qiyamah and Dajjal, tell some juicy stories about Dajjal, this and that. I guess that's our nature. We always want to know what's going to happen. So this individual also comes to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he says, tell me about the Sa'ah, tell me about Qiyamah. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he doesn't give the answer about Qiyamah. He says, "Mata Sa'ah." The person asks, when is Qiyamah? So the Prophet ﷺ says, وَمَاذَا عَدَدْتَ لَهَا. Forget when Qiyamah is. What have you prepared for it? That's more important. Knowing about Qiyamah, knowing about Dajjal, knowing about Ya'juj and Ma'juj, there's little benefit in that, but what have you prepared for Dajjal? What have you prepared for the Qiyamah? What have you prepared for the Ya'juj and Ma'juj? What is your preparation for that? So the Prophet ﷺ says, وَمَا عَدَدْتَ لَهَا. قال لا شيء. I have not prepared anything with the Prophet of Allah. إلا أني أحب الله ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Except that I love Allah and His Rasul. That's the only preparation I have. I love Allah. He was very truthful in this. I love Allah and I love the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Anta ma'a man ahbabta." You are going to be with whom you love. You will be with those individuals whom you love. Then Anas radiallahu ta'ala says, فَمَا فَرِحْنَا بِشَيْءٍ فَرَحْنَا بِقَوْلِ النَّبِي صلى الله عليه وسلم. We did not become so happy with anything than the statement of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that a person will be with whom he loves on the day of Qiyamah. Then Anas radiallahu ta'ala, when narrating his narration, he says, وَأَنَا I وَحِبُّ النَّبِي صلى الله عليه وسلم وَأَبَا بَكَرْ وَعُمَرْ. I love the Prophet, I love Abu Bakr, I love Umar. وَأَرْجُوا أَنْ أَكُونَ مَعَهُمْ بِحُبِّي إِيَّاهُمْ. And I have hope that because of my love for them, I will be with these individuals on the day of Qiyamah. I have not done the amal of Abu Bakr or of Umar, but because of the love I have, I will be with them on the day of Qiyamah. Respected brothers and sisters in Islam, this is what we need to strive. This is what we need to bring into our lives. We need to bring the true love of the Prophet ﷺ in our lives. Because everything else that we love and we imitate, we emulate, and we bring into life, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clearly says, وَمَا الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا مَتَاعُ الْغُرُورِ. This worldly life is just deception. It's just means of deception. There is no salvation in that. There is no honor in that. Honor is only in the lifestyle of the Prophet ﷺ. And true love of the Sunnah we find in the Sahaba. That's why the entire collection of hadith, mashallah, we know a few names of, compilations of hadith. Bukhari, Muslim, Tirmidhi, Abu Dawud, MSI, we know these. But how were these compiled? Because you think about it, what made it possible for this compilation to come into existence? It was the love of the Sahaba. The Sahaba, they observed the life of the Prophet ﷺ to the utmost minutest detail. How many strands of white hair on the top of the Prophet ﷺ? How the Prophet ﷺ walked. How did Prophet ﷺ talk? How did he serve his guest? When he was a guest, how was he? How did he pray his tahajjud? How did he pray his ishraq, his duha, his 5 times salah? Every single minutest detail, this could only be possible by a true lover. Only by a true lover. Because when you really love someone, then every single part of that person becomes beloved to you. And you maintain it. That's the only way the compilation of ahadith is preserved, is because of the love of the Sahaba. The Sahaba, they observed the Prophet ﷺ in every single aspect. We don't even know how many white strands are on our own head. or on our beloved's head, or our spouse's head. But they knew how many were on the Prophet ﷺ's head. They had so much love that when the Prophet ﷺ would do wudu, and he would spit out the wudu, they would rush to gather that water. Because why? This came out of the beloved mouth of my beloved, of the Prophet ﷺ. They saw that there's barakah in this, and they would rush towards that. Anything, the hairs that would fall for the Prophet ﷺ, they would rush to preserve those hairs. What is a hair? It's just a piece of body. But to the Sahaba, it was not just a piece of body. It is attached. It belongs to the Prophet ﷺ. It is more precious than anything in the world. This is a true love. So how can we bring the love of the Prophet ﷺ into our lives? That's only possible if we know about the Prophet ﷺ, if we study the Prophet ﷺ, his lifestyle. For this reason, respected brothers and elders, the Masjid, MSI Masjid, we have made a program next Saturday, December 2nd. We will be having a Seerah conference. And the Seerah conference, the title of this conference is Embodying Perfect, or the Pursuit of Perfection. The most perfect individual is the Prophet ﷺ. Every aspect of the Prophet ﷺ is perfect. Every aspect, and this is our iman. If anyone doubts this, he's doubting his iman. Every aspect of the Prophet ﷺ is perfect. So how can we embody the perfection? How can we become like the Prophet? How can we bring the sunnahs into our lives? For this, we have an entire day program, from Dhuhr Salah all the way to Isha Salah. Various lectures will take place in the English language, in the Urdu language. We have lectures for the sisters, only sisters lectures as well, in English and in Urdu as well. There will be, inshallah, praises of the Prophet ﷺ, which we call Naat. We'll have recitation of the Quran. But this is not something that's optional. As people say today's time, is entertainment of the ears. Kaan ki ayashi. No, this is something that we need. This is something that our iman requires. It's a necessity of our lives that we need to study the Prophet. We need to bring his lifestyle, but how can we do it? We need to have more information. So regarding this, we have how the Prophet ﷺ was the perfect father, the perfect husband, the perfect leader, the perfect humanitarian, the perfect human being in every aspect. How the Prophet ﷺ was perfect, and how we could bring that bit of that perfection into our lives. And we become and follow the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. So for this, inshallah, a humble request to everyone that's here, come and bring your families as well. This is open to families. Bring your families to the masjid as well from Dhuhr next Saturday, not to Saturday, but next Saturday, December 2nd, from Dhuhr to Isha. And do this because we love the Prophet ﷺ. The only reason we're coming is not to show our face to the masjid, but we're doing it because why? I love the Prophet. I want to know more about the Prophet. I want to study his lifestyle. And those that have this knowledge, those that have studied his life, they will be giving the speeches, inshallah. So for this, we humbly request that in order to find out how many people are coming, please register also on the way out. When inshallah Jumah Salah is done, there are people outside. Register so we have a head count how many people are coming, so we could arrange for that as well. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the true love of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to imitate and emulate the lifestyle of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And may Allah take out the love of all other human beings and put only the love of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in our heart. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Inshallah, pray your sunnahs.
As you know, we have a large crowd today. Everyone is off. Please stand up and make your rows. Let's accommodate everyone standing outside. We have a lot of space. Let's open up our hearts and make room for everyone, inshallah. Please. There's gaps right in front of me, brothers. We have to move forward, inshallah. Please stand up, make your way forward, fill in the gaps. Jazakallah khair. Alright, our first announcement, as Mufti Sahib already mentioned about this year conference, alhamdulillah, I'm sure all of you are coming. Please register on your way out. Brothers, there are people outside on the entrances. And for the sisters side, we do have a registration sheet in the sisters room. Please make sure you register, fill out that form by yourself, inshallah, in the sisters prayer area. Secondly, inshallah, we are having Compassionate Care Network. They will be doing a free health screening here at MSI December 9th, Saturday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. inshallah. Saturday December 9th 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. free health screening here at MSI. And lastly, MSI General Body Meeting will be Saturday December 16th after Dhuhr prayer. All members are requested to attend, inshallah, and this will also be open to public to participate. Jazakallah. There's still people standing for some reason, but there's a lot of space. I can see spaces where these people can sit. Please, inshallah, move back and forth and accommodate these people. Jazakallah. If those chairs are not being used, please fold them up and put them on the side.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وقال الله تعالى في قرآن المجيد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اعلموا أنما الحياة الدنيا لعب ولهو وزينة وتفاخر بينكم وتكاثر في الأموال والأولاد كمثل غيث أعجب الكفار نباته ثم يهيج فتراه مصفرا ثم يكون حطاما وفي الآخرة عذاب شديد ومغفرة من الله ورضوان وما الحياة الدنيا إلا متاع الغرور. وقال الله تعالى لقد كان لكم في رسول الله أسوة حسنة لمن كان يرجو الله واليوم الآخر. صدق الله العظيم. وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم المرء مع من أحبه أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. بارك الله لنا ولكم في القرآن العظيم ونفعنا وإياكم بما فيه من الآيات والذكر الحكيم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا وحبيبنا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. وارض اللهم عن الخلفاء الراشدين أبو بكر وعمر وعثمان وعلي وسائر الصحابة والتابعين رضوان الله تعالى عليهم أجمعين. اللهم اغفر لنا ولوالدينا ولجميع المؤمنين والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات إنك سميع قريب مجيب الدعوات. اللهم أيد الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم انصر من نصر دين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم واجعلنا منهم، واخذل من خذل دين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم ولا تجعلنا منهم ولا معهم. عباد الله رحمكم الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اذكروا الله تعالى يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. أقم الصلاة.